Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Sunshine Study. I'm Dr. Rebecca, the Life Joy Coach and author, and I've woken up early this first day of the week and I thought I shall make YouTube videos because I had good energy. And the reason I had good energy was because I put in actions of wise self-care over the weekend so that I could feel fresh and make the most of that which I have. So I want you to think about the term self-care, because it's really easy for it to be seductive in that it is external things that cost a lot of money and it's pampering. Now, I'm not saying those things aren't good or joyous, but self-care is ultimately, I believe, an inside job. It's a job of contribution and care, not just consumption. So, how is your sleep? First question. How is your water intake? How is your movement? How is your daylight? How is your work? How is your life admin? How are your relationships? And how are you? Now, they are very big questions that can't be answered in one video, but they are questions to start opening up a dialogue with yourself about self-care. And the opposite of self-care is not looking after yourself. And looking after yourself, you would want your children, your best friends, your husband, your spouse, your sisters, your brothers to look after themselves wisely. You would not want them to run themselves ragged, would you? Well, then they don't want you to run yourself ragged. So it starts with the issue of not just loving your neighbour, but loving your neighbour as yourself. And that it is all right to look after you. It is all right that you have some energy and that you don't have to spend it, and everybody else matters more than you. Everybody else matters, and we never want to live selfishly, but we need to live from a place of fulsome health and not run ourselves into the ground. So the first thing to say about self-care is to recognise, as the famous phrase says, you are worth it. But you're worth it not because you have fancy hair or pretty nails or fancy things or expensive things. You're worth it for your very presence. And your very presence is not your productivity. It is not your status symbols. It is not your job title or your roles. It is just the gift of who you are. That's real self-worth and self-care. So where are you looking after yourself wisely? Think about where you dread and you think, oh no, and you just push through, or you have no plan, or you just bulldoze through the hours and just grit your teeth and keep going. Where could we put in a bit of rest? Where could we sort out your sleep? Where could we put some more water in? Could you have 10 minutes fresh air in the mornings or in the afternoon, or just have a cup of tea outside? Obviously not full of caffeine, but could you just savour looking at the tops of the trees? Could you sit for 3 or 4 minutes and just wonder at the joy that's in your life? Give thanks for all the blessings. Tell somebody how much you appreciate them. Tell yourself how well you've done. So real self-care starts with awareness that you have worth. That worth needs protecting, and it is wise for you to protect it because you will then be sustainable. And I want you also to think about the example that you set for other people. And if you have young people in your life, think about what they're watching you do and silently taking in, even if you don't want them to know that. It's called the hidden curriculum, the silent syllabus, about what you do more than what you say. And we need that to be consistent. So you have to think and know that you're worth self-care, and you also then have to do some things to make yourself sustainable. And usually these are quite small things, but can have revolutionary effects and can improve the quality of your life. So one of the things I started this Lent was I have had problems getting up in the mornings for many years, and pain and blood pressure problems, and it's just very difficult. And it's not laziness, and I'm not exhausted. It is a very specific set of physical problems. And I have tried to outrun myself and outdiscipline myself and make it harder and all hard. And then I just thought, what would be my optimum bedtime? So at Lent, I decided I would not go to bed after 10 o'clock. And I have done it. My husband's had late shifts, so there've been 3 or 4 nights which have been a bit messed up. But where I have had control, that has made a fundamental difference to my life. And this does with clients all the time. What is the tiniest sustainable change you can make for your self-care that is wise, manageable, and probably costs you nothing. Now, if you can do big self-care things, if you can go places, if you can hire services or people to improve you or help you, well, that's wonderful. But if you can't do those things, then this is the place to start. And maybe if you can do those things, this is still the place to start. So what else could you do that would give you joy and delight and hope, but would also be good for you? And it isn't temporary pleasure that causes you a long-term problem. I'm very frightened of alcohol, and I've helped lots of people stop smoking, reduce their drinking dramatically, reduce their eating that wasn't healthy, reduce the excesses in their lives with my one-to-one coaching and counselling. But one of the best things we can do is to really reduce that alcohol. And if you can, have none, because I have seen so much damage from it. But if you think about that, it's a short-term solution to a longer-term problem. So think about, what are you doing in the short term that calms you down but isn't good for you? It may be that we're scrolling too much, but keep watching YouTube. But think about where those specifics are in your life that would actually look after you well. And my final point would be, think about the people who love you most in this world. And would they want that for you? They would want you to be wise and look after yourself. And you would want that for them. So respect their love and care and just do what is wise. Do it small, do it sustainably, and also do it so that you have a joyous, you can have a tick chart if you want. You can have a sticker chart, you can journal it, but just mark the occasion. Or maybe you can have a treat if you do 40 days. But think about what would be wise, what is manageable, and then what is your definition of self-care. Let me know in the comments. It'll be joyous to hear. We can chat more about it. And I hope you have good bedtimes, good sleep, good water, good people, good lives, but that you have a goodness inside you that you recognise, look after, and then shine ever brighter. Take care, my friends. Please like, comment and subscribe. It helps enormously. I'm Dr. Rebecca, the Life Joy Coach and author, and we're here to help you find your joy, navigate life and overcome challenges. Take care, my friends.